Welcome to episode 6 of the Moms That Read podcast. I'm Katarina.
I'm McKenzie.
And I'm Kaylee, and it's February, which means it's Love Month. And we're going to be bringing you all of our favorite romance recs. And we each wrote a list. I think most of them are pretty different. So we're going to give you all of our recommendations that you can read this month.
Do we want to start out with our recent reads?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what are y'all reading?
So I read The Games Gods Play, which I went into it thinking I love Greek mythology. It's games and trials. Was so excited for it. And it was fine. I don't know why I didn't love it. So,
well, I mean, not every book is going to be a love.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was fine. Like, I would still suggest it to someone who likes those.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just wasn't my favorite.
I read Runaway Bride and Prejudice by Emma St. Clair. And I don't like the way she names her books because it makes them seem like
Say the title again?
Runaway Bride and Prejudice. Like if she just left it Runaway Bride, it would have been fine. You know
so
what I mean?
like it's kind of like I want to be a classic, but I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're hockey romances. Yeah, whole series, the whole series is a hockey romance, and they're really good. Like I like them. There's no spice in them.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's all centered around one hockey team, but I just wish that they had better names. You know what I mean? One of them's like Just Don't Fall. They're all childish names, but the content is really good. Yeah. But I feel like the names might turn some people off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, the opposite of that for hockey romance, because I'm in my hockey romance era. I just finished The Deal by Elle Kennedy.
And that's hockey?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Loved it. It was so good. I was cackling multiple times during the book, like kicking my feet because Garrett Graham is book boyfriend material.
Like from
Garrett
Fourth Wing?
Graham.
Same name?
Garrett.
Okay.
No, he is book boyfriend material. Love, but it was
Hudson?
kinda maybe.
Okay.
I would put them in the same category, but it was very spicy.
She's a very spicy author.
I had never read her before, and like page 3, I was like, oh, okay.
Page 3. So Insta Love, I hate.
No, not Insta Love. So it was actually like another scenario, and I was like, "Ooh, am I gonna hate him?" And then
it wasn't
ended up
him.
loving him.
Okay,
it was so good. But it's on my list of things to recommend, so we'll get into the deeds later.
Okay.
Well, you want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so The Deal, not forbidden romance, but like he fell hurt first, and I didn't think that was a trope that I really liked. But I 5-starred it. It was so good. 4 chilies on the spice level because
Katarina does not need to read that.
But I think it was mainly because of the language. Like the language is sometimes to me, but I just kind of like read fast through it. But
I just bought one of her books, and now I'm like,
wait, which book?
Oh, I don't remember.
So this series is like a true series. It goes through all the friends within the hockey team. Then there's a post-college follow-up. That's a follow-up from the first book of this series. And so it goes beyond their life. And I'm really excited because sometimes series just end and it's just like boom. But this like goes into their adult life.
I think I had one of her books, but I like read the first chapter and then I closed the book. And I was like, maybe we'll come back to this.
It's been a while since I've read something like that, but I also just read fantasy. So I like to palate cleanse with a romance. So that's why I did it. But it was really easy to read.
Palate cleansers on this list too.
I thought I would need a palate cleanser, and now I'm like, fantasy.
No.
Like, that's all I'm reading.
No. See, I'm going to group 2 of my recommendations together because they're from the same series, When in Rome and Practice Makes Perfect. I've told you about that 100 times. Y'all are about to read those, aren't you?
Yes, they're on like top of my list, but they're not on Kindle Unlimited.
No, they're not, which is unfortunate. But
this one was. The Deal was.
You have Practice Makes Perfect, don't you? That's what you got at the...
Yes, but I let a coworker borrow it, so...
Okay. Yeah, When in Rome is like a pop star, baker, like...
See, I think that's so cute.
Grumpy
I
sunshine.
love the whole celebrity, like... I don't know.
Yeah.
Abby Jimenez has one. Which one is hers that's celebrity? The playlist one.
Happily Never After playlist. Yeah.
Yes.
I almost put that on here, but I went with a different one. But then Practice Makes Perfect is a fake dating trope with a flower shop owner and a bodyguard. The bodyguard for the pop star.
Oh, okay. That sounds really similar to Love Light Farms.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Almost. Annie, the FMC, is Noah's sister from When in Rome.
Okay,
so it's kind of like all connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I love them.
I like when stuff like that is like intertwined together.
And you love Abby Jimenez because all of her books are like that. She has like 2 series, and that's it. She has 2 series, and each series is just the same characters.
Oh, okay. I love that kind of stuff.
So you'd like that.
Yeah.
I'm also going to group my first 2 together because they're kind of like the same story. I loved them both probably equally. So Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren and Every Summer After by Carly Fortune.
I've read Love and Other Words.
They're both really similar. Best friends growing up.
That's why you like it.
It's exactly. I literally the
Best
first
friends
five
to
I have are like
lovers.
best friends to lovers. Something happens and they lose touch, and then I feel like I'm not giving anything away because it's your typical love story, but. So sweet. Kaylee's read Love and Other Words, and it
was so sad,
but so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the one that you just told me to read because of Christina Lauren?
Oh, but no, I will say, I Love and Other Words jumps from like present day to past, right?
Yeah,
I
so does
hate
Every
that
Summer
so
After.
much.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, see, I like that.
I don't. That's
It
the
does have
only
to
thing
depend
I
on the
didn't.
book.
Yeah, that's the only thing
I
I
like
didn't
it.
like about it. That's probably why I didn't like People You Meet on Vacation too, because it does
jumped
that
back
too.
and
And
that's probably why I did like it.
I know. I just don't
I
like.
love it.
I cannot get behind books that do that.
Well,
That's just not my favorite.
Okay, so this might be taking one off your list, but did you like The Things We Leave Unfinished? Because it goes back and forth like past and
I did
present.
put that on my list.
I thought I saw it. Because that one goes like World War II past and then like present.
I mean, I liked it, but that whole book just makes me mad anyways.
I loved it. Did you put it on your list?
No, I
I
didn't.
mean, I can talk about it.
Yeah.
I said it's like a historical romance.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
I think
mean,
so.
the modern day part is not. It's like your typical.
It's your like, you can expect it to happen and you know what's going to happen in the end, but I think the true story is in the like historical one.
Oh.
So I think that's a good twist on a romance too, because
I loved it.
I truly read romances because I want to know how it ends and I want to like feel good when I finish the book. I don't want to read it and like be just traumatized at the end.
Right.
That's what fantasy is for. So.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Traumatizes us.
That is true.
Okay, so going off of Christina Lauren, that's her name, right? Okay, I just
Their
like
name.
panicked.
It's two.
That's a duo.
What?
It's two women.
Yeah.
You were lying.
Christina and Lauren. Yeah.
Did I just miss the and sign?
No, it's
No,
literally
it's they
Christina
just
Lauren.
changed like it's their book name.
It's their pen name.
What? Okay. Wow. I love that though, because like you cannot tell.
Don't
it's
they
written by two
do
people.
like one write one chapter and
I
the
don't
next
know,
one?
but if
I
you
don't
think
know.
about it, that's got to be hard.
That is a true talent.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so The Unhoneymooners was probably one of the first romances that I was
Loved it.
absolutely
I love that one,
obsessed
too.
with.
That one's
5-star.
like major comedy. It's
Yeah.
Major
hilarious.
comedy. I love the banter, but it's because they're enemies to lovers, like a forbidden
Yeah.
romance kind of thing. It's this girl's twin sister and her husband have a wedding and everyone gets food poisoning except for her and the husband's brother.
Because
And
they had
they
like
are
food
forced to-
allergies.
They hate each
Yes.
other, don't they?
Yeah.
They hate each other,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
absolutely.
Okay.
And then they're forced
It's
to
been a
go on the
while since I read
honeymoon
it.
because they won it and she had to go, so she acted as her twin sister.
You've read it, right?
I've read
So
it, yeah.
good.
It's so funny.
I think the spice level was kind of like mid.
It was.
Yeah,
Like
I
it
don't
wasn't
think it
anything
was that
crazy, but
If Katarina
I loved-
liked it, it was not
if
very
that's
spicy.
true.
If I don't remember it being bad, it probably wasn't bad.
Yeah, right.
That's true because she probably just wouldn't have finished
I
it.
would have been like, nah, or like skip.
My next book, it actually comes out the day this podcast airs, February 11th. It's First Time Caller by B.K. Borison.
Did you get a
Which
arc?
No, we ordered it on
Yes.
our. She's just an auto buy author for me at this point.
Yeah,
she
she's
wrote
really good.
Love Light Farms,
Yeah.
which you were talking about. We both got that in our book of the month. We picked that for our book of the month.
and had no idea.
No, but it'll be here in a couple days. Mine said it
Oh, so you
should
haven't
be
read
here
it
by
yet.
the 4th. No, but I'm just going to recommend anything she writes anyways. I looked at the reviews before
Yeah.
I recommended it, and it's got almost 5 stars.
I was really
Okay.
surprised at all the books that are on Book of the Month.
Yeah,
they're
this month
all
was a
over a
good
4-star
month.
rating.
Yeah.
Like most of them are.
What are the other books?
I
Are they
think
all romance?
the next
No.
butcher and the next
Oh,
one in the
Sparrow
butcher
and
was
Scythe?
in there. But like
It was.
if you don't like any of the choices, you can just skip a month, and then if you don't like any of the choices for that month, you can also go back and look at books from previous months and pick
pick an
one.
old one.
The one I did for January, but I haven't read yet, is Babylonia.
Looks really good.
I'm excited to read it because
That's
it's
Greek
all
mythology, isn't it?
historical. So it's Assyrian Empire, but
Oh.
intertwined.
Oh,
with
I would
stuff.
like that. You probably
Yeah.
would not like that.
That's why I didn't pick it. I think I skipped last month. But First Time Caller, it's basically where this woman's daughter calls in to the radio show. And she was a first time caller and trying to find her mom love because she doesn't want her mom to be single anymore.
Oh.
And this is just going to be a good book
Yes.
because you know she
Okay.
falls for the radio host, obviously.
Obviously.
Duh.
I would expect nothing else.
Nothing less.
That's sweet.
The radio host who does not believe in love.
One falls in love with the daughter or falls in love with the mom?
The mom.
Oh, interesting.
The daughter calls.
No, how old's the daughter?
I think the radio host is older and the mom is older, so it's like an older romance. But
I
the daughter
completely misread that synopsis.
That's not what happened.
That's not what I thought was happening. I thought they're gonna fall in love at the radio. Okay.
Honestly, I thought it was that too, and I didn't know she was old enough to have a daughter until I read that it was the daughter that called in.
Okay, I don't think I've ever read a middle-aged romance, but
Nicholas Sparks maybe.
I mean, honestly, I'm 30 with an 8-year-old, so she could be 35. You know?
Oh, we don't know how old the daughter is. That makes sense.
So, speaking of Nicholas Sparks, I haven't read one of his in a long time outside of this one. I read a lot of his books in high school, which I loved, but
I did too.
The Wish was a 5-star read for me, and if you haven't read it, it's one of those heart-wrenching, something terrible but really sweet happens at the end. I can't give too much away, but it's a really, really good one if you want an old school, sweet Nicholas Sparks book.
I have a book signed by him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I can't remember which book it is.
My friend used to babysit for his kids.
Really? Wow. Because he's like coolish to us, right?
Well, I was in North Carolina.
Oh, true. Okay.
So, yeah.
One of my recommendations is kind of like a Nicholas Sparks book.
Okay.
Safe Haven. Onyx Storm Palette Cleanser, Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score.
I like Lucy Score.
All the Lucy Score I've read is like ramp up.
It was like 3 chili peppers.
Okay, so
our scales are different.
Yeah. My scale is like, I don't read anything.
For you, it would have probably been like 5.
Probably. I read a Thread. That one was pretty.
Yeah.
We might have to.
And the Knock 'Em Out series. You haven't read that?
No, I haven't.
I did love the Knock 'Em Out series, though.
But, okay, it was basically a girl was running from her past, like in Safe Haven, and the guy's in the military, so that's a little bit different. But he.
Like Dear John.
Well, she doesn't write him a Dear John letter. No, ma'am. She does not. But it's sad because he has a past that he can't get over, and he protects her from her past. Okay. Kind of like Safe Haven.
I have that one. I need to read it.
It's really good. I read it in a day because I was just hooked. I could not put it down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't get like that with romance normally.
It was good.
I can sometimes. It depends. So
yeah.
I read 2 that are a part of the same series. It starts with It Happened One Summer. Tessa Bailey. Lion and Seeker. Yes. I like that one better than the first one.
I've not read those.
With the sister and the guy's
those
friend.
Those are pretty spicy too, aren't they?
Yeah. Like 4.
I have not been.
Guess what month it is, Katarina?
It's love month. These 2 sisters are from Los Angeles. Is it
it's like some snooty like Hamptons type
and they've
place.
been basically handed to their whole life, and then they realize that the
first girl gets in trouble.
Yes, and so she gets sent out to where her father was actually from, and they don't know anything about their father because he died, and so they get sent back, and it's like, you're true. I'm going to a coastal town. I meet the grumpy sunshine fisherman.
Deep sea fisherman with a dangerous job.
But there is some good character development of the girls because they are very snooty, but then they become I like it a lot. It's really good.
That was my favorite series by Tessa Bailey. I'm not a Tessa Bailey fan, but
these were the only those 2, right?
Books. Yeah, because I was looking for a third one, but there wasn't.
That's interesting.
I thought it was cute.
It was a cute book.
Okay, so the one she's talking about is Blush.
We did it for our book club last Valentine's, actually.
Oh, yeah, we did. And it follows
I've never read it.
3 women within one family who own a winery.
They're all 3 different generations.
All 3 different generations, all at different points in their life. And there's a bunch of family drama that unfolds. If you want something that's like family drama oriented, but also romance intertwined with it, it was just a cute read.
It was a very like sophisticated read.
Yes.
So like our book club did sparkling juice
and like charcuterie boards and
cheese.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
but I
just didn't put it in the major romance category. That's why I didn't put it in my list.
Really?
I mean, there's like 3 small romances, but the whole book itself is more. I don't know.
That's true. Well, one of the girls,
the youngest,
it was all it was her romance story. I guess I don't know, but I agree.
Yeah. No, I loved that book.
Okay,
that's a great one.
Who
wrote that? Jamie Brenner.
I didn't write it down. Nope.
I think it's Jamie Brenner.
One of my favorite romance authors right now is Elsie Silver.
Oh,
I have yet to read one.
Did you do Wild Love?
I put that on here, but I also put literally the whole Chestnut Spring series. So if you want to read a series this month, yeehaw, giddy up cowboy.
Can't get on board yet.
Listen,
I loved Wild Love. It was so good.
Yes.
It's the whole cowboy thing. I don't know.
Wild Love is a frenemies to lovers, so I feel like you might like it.
Because they've known each other.
Frenemies.
They've known each other their whole life.
Okay.
Best friend's brother. Yes. They're frenemies, but then they become lovers.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you're only going to read a couple of the Chestnut Springs books, my 2 recommendations are Heartless with Daddy Cade, and that's an age gap. So I don't know if y'all like that. Listen,
Negative.
I can get behind an age gap.
How big of an age gap?
10 years.
Okay,
listen, my mom and my stepdad were 13 years apart. I am not a stranger to an age gap, so
I can't.
It depends on.
That's like
I don't know.
It's his sister's best friend.
That's like meeting with a 20 or a 40-year-old.
Well, we're
Either
old.
way, that's gross.
I'm old, so
I'm the same age as you.
yeah, no, we're old.
We're old.
My second
Mackenzie's
favorite.
almost old.
I'm almost old.
Yeah.
I'm only like a year and a half behind y'all. 2 years. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be 31 in May.
Okay, I'll be 29 in April.
So
I'll be
like
31 in
almost
July.
Okay, so 2 years.
Yeah, but the one I want you to read out of the Chestnut Spring
It's the
series
Jasper
is
one, right?
Reckless, yeah, with Jasper and Sloan.
I just listened to a podcast where they said Jasper's is the most spicy. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the one Kaylee suggested.
But it's best friends to lovers.
Okay, fair, but...
You have to go in blind. Don't read. You should have never.
I did think that was funny. I was like, that's
if you read Lucy's Score, you can read Elsie Silver.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the same spice level as Lucy's Score.
Okay.
So I think you'll be okay. I mean, did I skip through a few of the scenes? Yes, I did. But
Same. I always do.
I mean, it was a good storyline.
I'm like,
it was a really good storyline.
Well, then don't read Icebreaker.
No, don't read Icebreaker.
I have no interest in
Did you put that on your list?
I did.
Because I
feel
that
like,
book.
oh really?
Who wrote that?
It was a very
Hannah
easy,
Hannah Grace or something like that.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. That sounds
It was a very easy, quick read, but it was considered a romance. And I don't really have a lot of romances on my like read list because I'm very heavy into fantasy, and so I was liking things. But I gave it 3.5 stars. If you like slutty romances, then this is all for you. Because that is some people's cup of tea. But for me, it was good. I just had to go through a lot of it. But funny story, because I needed y'all's genuine reaction to this. So my coworker the other day came up to me and she said, "Have you ever read Icebreaker?" And I was like, "Yes." And
No.
this is coming from a coworker who doesn't read that. And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Is it spicy?" And I said, "Yeah, it's really, really spicy." She was like, "Well, in class the other day, I saw a girl reading it in my class." And I mean,
Middle
I
school?
teach 7th grade. And she went up to the girl and was like, "Hey, where'd you get that book?" And she was like, "Well, my mom bought it for me."
Oh, well, okay.
And
you
she was
know, I have some books at the bakery.
Yes.
One time, this girl came in, probably middle school age. Her and her mom were buying books, and she put Butcher and Blackbird up on the counter.
Like,
her mom read the back of it and everything, and still bought it for her. And I don't.
Oh,
it
and
is
you're like,
not
what?
my job
Yeah,
to
no.
overstep and be like, ma'am,
Nope.
your child does not need to be reading that. But my middle school child, Butcher and Blackbird.
I think as a parent, I would be like, please tell me.
Well, see, I saw a lot of kids reading Light Lark, and I was like, "Oh wow, there's one scene in there that I would not have like thought a 12-year-old should read." But then the girl's reading that book, and I was like, because she went up to her and was like, "Isn't that book kind of like?" And she was like,
Okay.
Chelsea had a 2nd grader come in one day.
Yes.
With 50 Shades of Grey.
"Stop."
Because it had handcuffs, and the kid got it off his parents' bookshelf thinking it was about police officers.
Stop.
That's kind of funny, though. I mean, that's kind of funny. Lord.
He asked Chelsea if she would read it to the class. She was like,
Probably not.
negative.
No.
Well, I had a kid. I think the mom let her read Verity, but she sharpied out all of the bad parts of Verity, and so
Which
she was
is the whole book.
Well, just the spicy stuff she was doing.
The rest of it's... Have you read it?
It's been a while.
Ooh.
I've never read it.
So
I've
she was
never read a
reading
comic.
Not
Probably.
something I would ever let my kids
Well,
read.
she probably read only 50% of it because her mom literally went through it, marked through it, and I was like, "Well, she's dying
There's
to
a
read it that
scene
bad."
in there where...
The hanger.
Yes.
Yeah, that was probably X'd out.
I hope so.
I've never
She
read.
does not want her baby, so she takes the clothes hanger.
It's rough.
It's bad.
Oh my god!
But you don't know if it actually happens. That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. You get to the end of the book,
and they're making a movie on this that I have to go watch.
Yeah.
So you read the end of the book, you get zero answers to anything, and you're more confused from when you started it because you don't know if it's the truth or if you don't know if it's
basically she wrote a book, and you don't know if the book was
truth or not.
Yeah,
fact or fiction.
It's kind of wild.
It was disturbing.
I read it thinking it was just a romance because I thought that's what she wrote, but
no.
What's your next one, Katarina?
The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry. I almost DNF'd this because it was a little spicy. But it was a forbidden romance, but in the fact that the couple met at a party and he was a senior in high school but like 19 and she was a student teacher and they didn't know that she was supposed to be his student teacher. So they get to school and they're like, okay. Kind of like in
Pretty Little Liars.
Yes.
Well, except she was an actual student.
Well, this guy was too, but he was like a second year senior. So he was like her age.
But in college.
No. He was in high school. He went to a college party, but he was her age, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then she showed up at school and was like, oh my gosh. But I ended up loving it because it's one of those gut-wrenching books that you wouldn't really expect. And you find out that he has, I'm not going to give it away, but there's something going on with him medically. And so it kind of turned it around for me.
You like the gut-wrenching romances. And
if I'm in the mood.
I like
one
happy
of my
romances.
absolute favorite books is A Thousand Boy Kisses, which is my next on my list, which is Tilly Cole.
I don't want to read romance to just be like, oh, this is so cute, and then move on.
I think A Thousand Boy Kisses is another Friends to Lovers, isn't it?
In true Katarina fashion.
Yes. It is.
I think I love Enemies to Lovers because I love the banter.
That's fair.
And that's like my favorite part.
Quicksilver has that banter.
Okay, does it? Okay, so that's why Powerless got me the deal. Great banter because they like hate each other. Love.
Read Powerless. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a romance, but read Powerless.
Yes.
Okay, I heard Lauren Roberts actually say that Powerless is a romantic fantasy, but Reckless is a
fantasy romance.
Okay.
Romantasy.
Like it's more heavy on the romance.
Definitely.
It is.
So I was like, that's a really good way to.
I wonder what the third one's going to be. I hope
Tying it all
gut
together.
wrenching from all her spoilers that she's been.
If you love Powerless, we're going to do a whole thing on it when the book comes out. So
my next book is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I don't think either one of y'all have read that.
I've heard she's really good though.
She's very much Abby Jimenez
that's
because she writes real stuff.
Is she the one that wrote Out of the Woods? Okay, that's on my list.
I read Out of the Woods. Or no, I have not read Out of the Woods.
No, like my TBR.
Oh, okay.
I've read Next of Kin and I've read Out on a Limb. And both of them are really good. Out on a Limb is more romance and Next of Kin is less romance, more real life, but it's still good. Out on a Limb, they both meet at a party. They both have disabilities. One has a disabled hand and one has half a leg. And they both dress up. I think he dresses up as a pirate or something. The book is mainly focused on I'm more than just my disability. But it ends up being they meet at the party and then one night stand. But they end up becoming roommates. And it's a slow burn. They become friends to lovers in that whole roommate situation. And
forced proximity.
Yeah, it's so good. He is the sweetest FMC, like so good.
MMC.
Yes, not FMC. She's sweet too, though.
Okay, so another one that I have, it was a new release, I think last year. It was called The Perfect Fit by Claire Gilmore. I saw it on Goodreads as, this is a new release. And I was like, okay. Super cute. The FMC was best friends with the MMC's sister, and then they had a falling out, and she becomes this big corporate CEO of her own company and has this run-in with the brother, who she always was like, I don't think I meant anything to you. And then he's great. I love him. He's super sweet, and it's very chill on the spice. I would say there's a couple scenes, but
kind of reminds me of
Did you read it?
No, but Sarah Adams. It's got the same
okay, look. I've never read her, but I loved it. It was really good. I give it a 4-star, I think. Yeah, but it was really, really good.
My next two are, I don't think either of y'all have read her, but Taylor Jenkins Reid. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've read all of her books, so that's why I haven't talked about her recently. But prior to being obsessed with Rebecca Yarros, she was my favorite author. So, she wrote The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which that's not on my list.
Okay,
I've seen that, but I haven't read
I wouldn't
it.
call that like a sweet romance. She has like 7 husbands, so I didn't put that on the list. It is a really good book, but I put Forever Interrupted and One True Loves. So Forever Interrupted, this isn't giving anything away because this isn't a synopsis, but this couple gets married, and I think it's like 8 days later he gets killed in a car accident. And so technically I don't know how much love we could say there is in that book, but it's a lot about her going through that love with him, and she hated the mother-in-law, and it's her coming to grips with having a relationship with the mother-in-law because they now have the connection between their son. Aww. So sweet. And then One True Loves is probably one you may have heard of. Maybe
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
So Emma is married to this man. They think that he gets in a plane accident and he goes missing. And so he's been missing for years, and so she gets married again.
That's kind of like that Netflix show. Oh gosh, what's that Netflix show? I don't know, but it's literally the same thing. The plane goes disappeared, and then
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's like a thing.
Wait,
because I feel like I've
Manifest.
Okay,
that one.
Yes.
It's kind of like Manifest,
sort of. But plane goes missing. She gets married again years later. He is found. So now she's married to 2 men. And the book is basically her figuring out, like, what do I do and which one do I stay with? Because I love them both.
I don't even know.
It's so good. It's so
Was he alive this whole time?
Good. Yes, but he was living on an island.
Okay.
No one knew he was alive.
Oh.
So she got married thinking that she was widowed.
Oh, my gosh.
And then ends up, he comes back.
How tragic would that be?
What do you do?
I don't know.
What do you do?
What would you do?
I don't know.
Read the book and find out.
Read the book and find out.
I'd love to know what she did. Yeah.
So good.
Okay, my next book is another like indie author. It's Between the Lines by Brandy Pelliter. It is a librarian, tries to get a fresh start and moves to a little town, and she becomes a librarian at this little library. Well, this dad wanders in and tries to get lessons because his daughter needs help in school, but he's like scooted through school his whole entire life. He had severe dyslexia and never learned how to read. And so he's a single dad, which I love a single dad trope. He's a single dad who's trying to help his daughter with his homework, but he can't. Anyways, it's basically sweet romance. It is so cute how they like fall in love.
I got comfort and joy vibes in that.
I was thinking the same thing. Yes, because I was like,
she helps the little boy learn to read, but does she
as a ghost? Okay.
Okay. No, he is a very real man with a whole business.
This isn't like post coma, like
no, it's very real.
Oh, that sounds sweet.
It is sweet. He's like one of those like blue collar men too.
Oh yeah,
I love like
hearted books. It's not too spicy to where you couldn't read it.
Okay,
yeah,
not all like.
Do you have another one?
I have a couple more. Are you done?
I have. It's not like Valentine's Day vibes, but when I tell y'all, I was like pulling at things because I was like, I haven't read that many romances.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
In fact, I actually wrote it down as pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice cafe, fall vibes for sure. So I listened to it during the fall, but cute romance. Read that one and the second one, but I haven't finished the series. And I heard it just gets spicier as you go.
It does.
I have zero interest in reading that series.
But the first one was really good. I really liked it.
The first one was cute. The second one, it's got a mystery vibe I didn't expect in it.
But for some reason, some of these series, the second book, when it's not about the main characters, ends up being better than the first. So like the storyline of the secondary characters from the first one was really good.
The third one, the storyline, well, the second one
is
about
isn't it?
The second one's about the library, right?
Yes.
That one was really good.
With the little clues and stuff.
I liked that one a lot.
The third one's supposed to be the brother.
It is.
Okay.
It is the brother, and it is a Christmas tree farm. And
Love Light Farm.
I've never read
Love
that.
Light Farms on spice.
Oh.
On fire.
I'll take
well, then who's the last book then? The
I don't
cinnamon
know. It's
bun?
No, that was the second one. Or
What's
no.
the fourth one?
The fourth one is the Strawberry Farm.
Yeah.
But I have no idea who that one's about. I have not looked at that one at all, but I can only imagine the spice level that's going to be in that since they keep getting progressively spicier.
She said you've bought the ticket into the series.
Yeah, but I'm going to read it so I can finish the series.
Right.
I'm going to read it. But
I
it is a little
spicy.
spicy.
Series.
So I have a couple more. And I was debating if there was any I could leave out, and I just don't think so. My next one is Colleen Hoover. And I went through a phase where I really liked her, and now I'm kind of like, okay, there's a lot better. But Reminders of Him is really beautiful.
Never read it.
So
never read a Colleen Hoover again.
Ledger and Kenna are the main characters, and basically Kenna is in prison because she's accused of manslaughter because her and her I think not where I thought this was going.
Not at all.
I think it's her fiance got in a car accident and he died and she was driving. Yeah.
Oh, so it's traumatizing to be arrested for your fiance.
She had a baby in prison right after from the dad.
I'm sorry,
but the best friend of the dad like blames her for it, and so she basically comes out of jail and changes her identity in front of him because she doesn't want him to like he's angry with her,
right?
And so, long story short, they end up falling in love. But I absolutely loved it. It was so good.
She falls in love with the dad?
No. The dad is the man who died.
Okay, yeah.
The friend of the dad.
The friend of the dad. Okay, I was so confused for a whole second.
He is the one that has custody of her daughter.
So did he know what she looked like?
That's the whole thing. Yeah, it's really good. They had never met.
Okay, because I was like, why would she change her identity and then how did they fall in love?
He hates
her she knows who he is.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's really good. Do you have any others?
I have Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer.
That's a good one.
That one was probably one of my favorite ones she wrote.
Is that Felix or Justin?
Justin.
Okay, yeah.
Because she deals with bad anxiety, and so it's very relatable because I deal with bad anxiety. But they both have a dating curse. And that's the fun part about it.
How they meet.
Yeah, they meet on Reddit because they both have a dating curse, which me and my husband met on a dating website. So this is just fun. When they break up with someone, that person that they break up with finds their soulmate that they marry
right after.
So they think that if they date each other,
then they'll find their soulmate.
Right
love
after.
That.
But little did they know they were each other's soulmate. It's so cute.
Okay, I love that.
It's so cute. I love that one.
I love that one. Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I absolutely loved it. It was Grumpy Sunshine. He is
have that
deaf.
one on TBR.
He's like the grumpy. He's deaf. Everyone hates him, and she kind of like weasels her way in there to be like, you have a personality down there. It's really, really.
You know what that makes me think of? Do y'all watch Dancing with the Stars?
I used to.
Brittany, and she's one of the newer dancers. I think it was like 2 seasons ago. Yeah. Her partner was deaf, and now they're getting married. They're together, and I love that so much. Yes. I love it. It's so sweet.
I'm a sucker for a cute romance.
I know. I have one more. It's The Trouble with Love and Ink by Harriet Ashford. She's another indie author.
Heard of that.
I love finding indie authors on Kindle Unlimited. Honestly, I'll read.
I went back to your Kindle Unlimited on Instagram because I could not find the ones that I wanted to read on Kindle Unlimited. So I was like, I need to go look for some of the ones that Kaylee's read.
The Trouble with Love and Ink is really cute. It's a fake dating office romance, and the office manager guy took her position, but then she ends up having to go on vacation with his family and fake date him. But anyway, it's really cute. They have really good banter, which you would love. The banter in that book is just, it's great.
Okay.
And it's not very spicy. There's like 2 spicy scenes.
Yeah. Oh, that's not bad. That made me think of, I did actually have one more, The Hating Game. If you're a big fan of books to movies, this one was made into a movie, and I know the girl from Lucy Hale. No, what's her name? Is that the one from Pretty Little Liars?
Yeah, Lucy Hale.
Okay. Yes. Okay, her, and then another guy. I can see his face. He's hot, but
that's all that matters.
But The Hating Game is that way. 2 companies merge, and they were both the executive assistants to the CEOs, and they hate each other.
Yeah,
and love that. Like forced proximity, just a spur of the moment decision. It's good. But it is a movie on Amazon or Netflix. I can't remember. Which is why I read it.
My last one is the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. Yeah. I put Things We Never Got Over, but they're all 3 really good. It's Knox and Naomi, and it's like Grumpy Sunshine. And they're all interconnected stand-alones. But there's also kind of plot that weaves in between all 3 of them. Yeah. But the romances are all different. It's the first 2 are 2 brothers, and then it's basically their best friend that's grown up with them forever.
The Chestnut Spring series. Because Jasper's their best friend that grew up with them forever.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But the plot itself, there's some plot that's like pretty similar. So, yeah. So those are all of our book recs that we think you should read for the Valentine's season.
Check them out. Yeah. And also, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials so you can keep up with what we're reading, follow our Goodreads, and give us a 5-star if you like this. We'll see you on the next episode.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.